What's up everyone, KJ here. Let's get right into my thoughts on episode 131 of Steven Universe titled Off Colors. All information for the review came from the episode as well as the Steven Universe wiki. Links to both are in the description below. Let's get right into the important things segment. Steven and Lars try to find food after escaping the diamonds but are spotted by a robonoid. Since it scans Steven's gem, it starts to attack them. Then Steven and Lars are saved by a gem after being taken into a tunnel. The stranger is a pair of rutiles that were conjoined. Continuing to follow the Rutile twins, Steven and Lars enter a kindergarten and meet other weird gems, including a sapphire named Padparasha, who has visions of what just happened, as well as two fusions named Rhodonite and Fluorite. These weird gems weren't included in Homeworld because they were defective or abnormal or off color, as the weird gems call it. However, some Robonoids enter the kindergarten and try to scan the off-color gems. Because Lars is human and has no gemstone, he's able to fight off the Robonoids. As Lars attacks the last Robonoid, he makes it explode, but is killed in the explosion and the fall. Steven is upset that Lars is dead, so he cries, but his tears bring Lars back to life and turn him pink. Then Lars wakes up and has a scar on one of his eyes. That ends this important things segment. My review starts right now. This episode was cool because we got to meet new gems. Meeting new gems is always definitely something that can up the cool factor of an episode for me. Yeah, that's definitely something that many people do not say. But anyway, it always makes, meeting new gems is always something cool for me, regardless of what side they're on. The new gems we met were all weird in some way and would be shattered if found by Homeworld. For example, the Rutile twins were conjoined. However, I see this as more of an advantage more than a disadvantage. Maybe the Rutile twins have dual weapons, so any opponents would have to deal with two gems attacking them at once because they have, maybe their personalities are kind of like conjoined because they're conjoined, but, they possibly could have two weapons or would be able to pull out duplicates of the same weapon. And, pretty much the weapons we've seen so far in Steven Universe have all been strong in their own way, so, yeah. And then we have the Padparasha Sapphire. Now I can understand why this gem could be considered defective. Its visions of what's going on now probably would have no purpose in it whatsoever in a combat situation. However, if the Padparasha Sapphire has a weapon and could be conditioned to not use its visions, just be a normal gem that fights and that's it, and maybe you could use its ice powers if it has ice powers, it could be a good fighter to some extent. Then we have Rhodonite, a pearl and ruby fusion, which is pretty interesting because we've seen pearls and we've seen rubies, so putting them together, this is what we possibly would get, but you also have to take into account that some gems are different colors from others, like yellow pearl, blue pearl, and the crystal gems pearl, but still a pretty general thing. However, Morganite, the gem they work for, caught them fusing and replaced them. Although I don't understand what the problem would be with fusion, I do want to know two things. What Rhodonite's weapon is, as well as more info on this Morganite. And last but not least, we have Fluorite, a gem fusion that has 6 gems in it. I really want to see what makes up this fusion. My reason is because although this fusion could potentially be very powerful and possibly have a cool weapon, my interest is on what gems make it up. Especially if they are similar gems to what we have or possibly new gems. This fusion struck me as being very wise, mainly because it's having 6 personas, some of its eyes looking like wrinkles when closed, and its slow speech. The only thing I can think of as to why this gem fusion could be rejected is if Homeworld looks down on multi-gem fusions. Homeworld may believe that dual or tri-gem fusions is okay, but they probably would draw the line after that, because it would get too crazy. Because we do know that when multiple gems fuse, if they stay fused for a really long time, it could have effects on each of the gems' personality when they unfuse. So it pretty much would be like they get messed up. So yeah, but the only other thing they could draw the line after 3 gems, but that may be why Fluorite is abnormal to the rest of Homeworld. And the only other thing could be if some of the gems inside Fluorite are defective in some way. And then we saw the death and revival of Lars. So apparently Steven's tears can revive the deceased, but also make them pink. Maybe that's what Rose did to Lion, and that's why he's pink. But if that's the case, does Lars have the same or similar abilities to Lion? I wonder if the tear ability can also be applied to shattered gems as well, because if that's the case, Steven and the crystal gems could potentially gain a massive army either by finding and fixing shattered gems or by healing the cluster on Earth, gem by gem. The last thing I want to say is that Steven didn't tell the off-colors that he was a part of the crystal gems, so if there's a chance that he does, they could sell him out to be accepted by the rest of Homeworld. However, because they've been outcast for eons, which is a really long time, I believe that would be the last thing that would happen if Steven does tell him about the crystal gems. Most likely, though, the off-colors will join his side. Either way, this episode definitely was mind-blowing, and I can't wait to see the next one. That concludes this review. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. What did you think of this episode of Steven Universe? Did you like the off-color gems? Do you think Steven will persuade them to align with the crystal gems? Do you think that Lars now possesses the same abilities as Lion? Could Steven's tears also heal corrupted or shattered gems permanently? If you have any questions, theories, thoughts, suggestions, comments, or concerns, please let me know about them in the comments down below. All that being said, until next time, I'll see y'all later.